again, with today's arrests, we're hearing the phrase self-radicalization. We heard that the Boston bombers self-radicalized, and the RCMP believe John Nuttall and Amanda Corrity did too. But how and why? The CBC's Joanna Romayotis has some insight on that for us now. Joanna.
As we heard, Allison, police say the BC suspects were inspired by Al-Qaeda. And these days, inspiration is just a click away. The diatribes are disturbing, hateful, and easy to find. The internet is littered with Al-Qaeda-backed missives calling for attacks on the West and its allies. The online rants most likely help fuel the motives of the two BC terror suspects, whom police allege turned themselves into extremists.
Both individuals were self-radicalized to violence in order to commit criminal acts, criminal offenses.
Homegrown terrorism is becoming a familiar concept in Canada. In London, Ontario, two young men abandoned their middle-class lives to take part in a terror attack on an Algerian gas plant last January. More recently, authorities arrested two other men for their alleged involvement in a Via Rail terror plot. One of the suspects, Rahim Jasser, lived in Toronto most of his life. In both cases, the road to extremism began with disenchanted views that became more militant over time. Thoughts that experts say are easily fueled virtually. Mansour Al-Hajj tracks the influence of online jihadist material, including Al-Qaeda's Inspire magazine.
Any of the propaganda materials that they are using to get people more angry, more passionate about jihad.
In fact, in the name of Islam, there is more of a call for small-scale attacks that are easier to plan, harder to detect. Boston police say Inspire magazine's issue on how to construct a pressure cooker bomb helped guide the Boston Marathon bombers. BC police are careful to say Al-Qaeda inspired the violent plot, but would not go further into whether religion played a part.
That means they're Muslim, oh yeah.
Mubin Sheikh is a former radical Muslim who later helped police foil the Toronto 18 terror plot. He says Al-Qaeda is inextricably tied to an extreme interpretation of Islam.
I can't even imagine a non-Muslim doing an act of violent extremism in the name of Al-Qaeda. It's like a black guy doing a white supremacist crime, as far as I'm concerned.
This terrorism expert says what's more, virtual radicalization almost always needs real support at some point.
It could be quite subtle. It doesn't have to be people that are actually plotting with them, just people that are supportive of their radical views and sort of bolstering them, providing encouragement.
That kind of backing, experts say, can tip someone from just holding extremist views to acting on them. Whether or not the BC suspects had that kind of support is not clear yet. Allison?
Thanks very much, Joanna.